All right, let's talk to Shawn. Hey, Shawn, you are live on Chewed Gum with Taylor and Promise. How are you today?
Okay. A bit of a surgery, but I'm okay. So,
Oh, I'm so sorry. I hope you're recovering well.
yeah, so I had a few women in my life give me like two opposite ends of the abortion debate. One that's totally that it should be accessible anytime throughout the pregnancy, and some other individuals who think it should be totally outlawed for religious reasons. And I'm in the middle of that debate. I think there should be certain restrictions once the third trimester happens. So I am arguing that for the sake of the father's genes, in case the father is like on his deathbed and this is his last chance to pass on his genes, last chance to genetically father any children, that the woman should honor the pregnancy and go through with it. So,
oh, why are his genes important?
And why are they more important than the autonomy of the person that's pregnant?
my view is more it's less chance for the father to pass on his genes.
Why should that
But why is
supersede? Yes, why should that supersede anything?
That's all he is. That's all God gave him was his genes.
Okay, we're going so many directions here. First of all, I just want to go back to your comment about the third trimester abortions. Do you know how many third trimester abortions even occur out of all abortions?
There's some, probably not
Do
a
you
lot.
know? Do you
There's
know
some.
how many? Do you know how many even take place just after 21 weeks?
No.
Like
But
1%, if not less than 1%, and they take place because they're medically necessary. So I don't know if you want to go there with your argument. To me, that's not interesting because it's already done with those facts. So we could talk about this idea that men's genes somehow supersede a pregnant person's autonomy. Do you want to go there with the argument, or do you want to go back to the third trimester argument?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about the
less than 1% of abortions. Cool. Okay, so let's talk about the genes. I think Taylor asked you a great question that I would love to hear the answer to.
Why?
Okay.
Yeah, why are passing on genes so important?
For the years of evolution, men fight each other to pass on their genes, to pass on their legacy, pass on themselves. And
so it's an ego thing.
How you pass on yourself is through your genes. How you pass on, and that would be it. You're just done. I'm talking more about women giving consent to carry a baby in case like the father is like on his deathbed, if he's a soldier. Like there's this case like in Israel, a bunch of soldiers have died. Just like bam, and out there in the field, their sperm are still ready to use, and the Israeli government is extracting their fresh.
Is this?
Yeah.
Okay, let's pause because we're going to crazy places right now. So let's just talk about this idea of the passing on genes being a thing that matters. First of all, that's going to be subjective. I know plenty of men that do not give a fuck about whether their literal genes, DNA, whatever, is passed on. They don't care. They are amazing fathers to kids that are not biologically related to them. And they get a lot out of life outside of having a biological child to, quote, carry on their genes. So this is a subjective issue to say that that's a thing. But let's pretend that there is somebody who really cares about passing on their genes to another child, and yet the person carrying their child would like to get an abortion. Tell me why that person's desire to have a biological child supersedes that other person's autonomy.
Well, I'm not talking about like being rejected by the sperm bank. I'm talking about.
I didn't bring up any kind of sperm banks. I'm asking, why does somebody's desire to have a biological child supersede another person's a personal autonomy and ability to make choice over what happens to their body?
It's to honor the father.
Okay, that's the point you've made. Can you tell me why that matters more than the other person that does not want to give over rights of their bodies to somebody else's desire to, quote, be honored?
There's a lot of hypocrisy with healthcare. Like, you can afford this healthcare, you can afford that healthcare. You might not be able to get rid of that tapeworm without like charging a leg. You might be like trapped in jail for it. I had two positions. I agree with you on one side, and there are religious people who feel like I should convert and not agree with that, the other side. My argument is that the man dies, the biological father is out of the picture, and the woman, the surrogate, just that's the only child the man has, but the surrogate
Shawn,
doesn't want.
I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't think that you're tracking in this conversation. You have yet to respond to something Taylor and I have actually said or asked you, and we're going off in some weird directions. So if you want to call back sometime when you have your argument better together, then you can do that. But right now, I don't think we're going to get anywhere in the conversation. So I'm going to let you go, all right?
Have fun at the American Atheist.
Thanks, Shawn. Have a good evening. Okay. Taylor,
Okay.
welcome to Chewed Gum. That's your first call with us.
I did not even know what to say because I did not know what he was talking about, if I'm being honest. I've never heard such a thing.
I did not either. It was going to all kinds of places. This reminds me, was it last week, you guys? I think I'm like trying to be Alyssa now and like actually pay attention to the chat, which I don't know how to do while I do the show. But I think it was last week we did our super chat prompt as like list the worst metaphors for abortion arguments, because we've had people call in and be like, it's like if you're stuck in a spaceship and somebody pushes a button and then you lose oxygen. And then this guy last week called from Costco to say that it's like if you're trapped in the woods with a child and you have to rescue them and you have to give over your time. Just like the worst arguments, but the super chats were really funny. So maybe you guys will come up with more of those.
Hey, do you think this clip just fell out of a coconut tree? No. It did. Okay, now technically I did build the channel into a coconut tree and it did fall out. And also that our internet router is up there. Actually, in a lot of ways, this production fell out of a coconut tree, but we could only afford that because people like you supported us for $5 a month over where is that, Eric?
Patreon.com/call the line, and
that's right.
Jimmy will
you got it.
Be grateful. Yeah.
We have an exclusive patron podcast over there. Check it out. Thumbs up with it, Eric. We talked about this in the meeting. We have to both.
Oh,
thumbs
yeah,
up.
I'm sorry. Okay, there we go.